We're back. The Gaines Cast. The Gaines Cast is back. We're back. And I got a new shirt.
What's it?
It's a long sleeve. Hold on. It's a long sleeve legacy shirt. And on the back, nice. Coach Mark.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. And anyway, say hi to Cammie. She's here to join us today. Hey, Cammie.
Hey, Cammie, what's going on?
How you doing? Oh my goodness, we got a lot of comments. People already excited about this one. I'm excited to talk about genitals. Want me to? By the way, before we get started, how have you been, Alan? It's been a week.
I've been good, man. Been good. Been working out. I shaved today. It was awesome.
Shaved your body or your head? Like, what did you shave?
Just my head. I had gone like a couple of days without shaving. I don't know why. Like,
so how much hair do you have on your head? I
mean, it's fuzzy right here, but then it's like it's full right here. I just wish it would all fall off.
You should do the horseshoe. You know? Like,
no. No grandpa ring for me. No grandpa ring.
Yeah, as Jews we get Jew pattern baldness where it goes right where the yarmulke goes.
Yeah.
And that's why we wear yarmulkes, to cover up our bald spot. You guys didn't know that, did you?
When I was very young, I thought that's what it was for. I thought that's why people did it.
You were probably more right than you were wrong. You know, like There has to be a reason. And for the sideburns. The sideburns are crazy because it's just like a fuck you to the Egyptians. They were trying to just find something. Hey, the Egyptians shaved their sideburns. Let's look ridiculous and grow really long sideburns.
Right.
Like of all things, sideburns.
It's just their way of culturally attacking another culture or something, you know?
The Jews were first in culturally attacking other cultures. Like they invented that shit. Yeah. They were like, you know what? Screw you, Egyptians. We're not shaving. Of all things to not shave. They could have picked like pubic hair, you know, like just grow out some long armpit. But did the Egyptians, like maybe the Egyptians saved their pubes? Maybe they could have shit. Or Sean and I don't know if he wants to talk about this. We used to call like when a woman would like not shave it but groom it down there. We used to call it their lady beard.
Oh, well,
the lady beard.
The lady beard.
I think we bring that back. So speaking of lady beards, what about this?
Dude. We're living in a movie. I swear to God, like this is all got to be a simulation. It just really has to be.
So, you sent me this morning.
The article gets so insane from who the article is from too. It's just amazing. You know.
So I'll scroll. Alan, you sent this to me, and I think it's better if you kind of present this to the fine folks watching this.
Yeah, give me 1 second here.
Yeah, I got it pulled up. I'm Is the scrolling's working? Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah. Yep. I'll get on the same page here with you.
Yeah.
So, Ozempic, the trendy drug that many say helps burn excess fat, which is not actually how it works, but had a horrific side effect on one woman with diabetes. Maria Rosas. I would say this fucking horrific, bro. Like I would say this qualifies for use of that word if it actually happened. Maria Rosas, a professor of pharmacological health at the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. So she's not some stupid person about drugs either. Like this is what she does. Penned a testimonial on her Ozempic use to Newsweek, revealing that she had suffered severe burns and charred skin on her vagina, anus, and buttocks, owing to the once weekly jabs. I don't even know how the fuck that would happen.
I don't see the mechanism of action. I really don't, because I know how this thing works, and I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I'd love for it to be true, because we have a great alternative to Ozempic called No Morbidity, which has no side effects. So I'd love to be able to say, hey, take No Morbidity. We don't burn off your vagina.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't know. Could it have been something else like eczema? I mean,
it gets crazier because she said she saw charred out, so she must, she's claiming she ignited. And again, I am not if these medications work for you, great. My worry is that they say you're going to have to be on them forever, and being on any kind of medication forever is not a great long-term plan. But being on something like this doesn't seem healthy to me. That and the weight loss that they claim, I think our products just destroy. But I will say, in their defense, I'm having a hard time believing this story, bro. I really am. And she says at one point she feared she would die from excruciating pain from the medication, from her vagina charring off. Often called a miracle drug for its weight shedding properties, despite being created to be treated for type 2 diabetes. I noticed pieces of skin on my toilet seat, and on the tissue paper where I cleaned my genital area. I checked, and my genitals, anus, and buttocks were severely burned. Some areas with charred skin. This is the woman. She's the grandparent of 3 and a doctor of medicine who grappled with type 2 diabetes for over 20 years. First began taking the pricks in April. Pricks in
they called it pricks.
I love it.
They really. I mean, jabs. I've never heard it called pricks. I like this.
I like it a lot. I swear that like they got hacked or something like that. Hoping the ballyhooed pharmaceutical. What the fuck is ballyhooed?
Okay, hold on. I got to give a shout out to Asia Grace. She is the greatest writer in the history of fucking newspapers.
Yes.
Fucking Asia Grace. Let me pull up Asia Grace. I want to see like what happens when you click on this. Oh man, she's written some gems. Like Amazon. No, that's I don't know. I'm a porn star who makes $30K a month. Here's how I turned. Oh God, getting slut shamed. Yeah. I mean, porn stars are sluts. I think we can all agree on that.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's pretty much anyway. Sorry, ADHD. My bad. My bad.
Kind of the definition. Not judging, but kind of the definition. If you want to be a slut, be a slut. I don't care. You know?
Yeah, I love sluts.
So she didn't want to go into sunlight. She didn't want to expose her genitals to sunlight apparently for a couple of days. Always a good plan, especially if you're in public and don't want to get arrested. She did not respond.
What if she was sunning her anus that like Liver King was doing? Maybe she's a Liver King fan.
So that could be it. The whole sunning of the genitals to produce extra testosterone, because that shit's stupid as fuck too.
Oh my God.
So yeah, she did not respond immediately to the post request. The pharmaceutical would stabilize her glucose levels and carb frequency of her meds taken. It's not how it really works either, because like it gets your pancreas to produce more insulin, which is weird because I don't understand how for people. So people are insulin resistant. So the thought process is just have your pancreas work double time. I can't see that as a good long-term strategy either.
Absolutely not. You know, it doesn't make sense.
But no, it doesn't. But it was only once a week injection. I was tired of taking a lot of medications twice a day for so long.
So wait, she replaced I'm guessing insulin or glucophage or metformin as it's also known with this. It's not meant. It's an appetite suppressant. Like it's not meant to replace glucose.
No, it has been used alongside of other diabetes medications. So I don't know where she's saying she's going to get off a bunch of medications by going on this medication. From my experience with coaching people that are on this medication, they normally have to get put on another medication to help with nausea or whatever too.
Oh, it actually explains it as the article goes on. I just scrolled down.
Oh, for two decades, she's been on metformin, an anti-diabetic medication. It's not really anti-diabetic anyway. But after experiencing some gastrointestinal side effects from the prescription, which happens in metformin, by the way, if you are having gastrointestinal, if you're having any issues with metformin, you can always get Alchemy, safe, effective, ancient wisdom with modern techniques. Amazing results in comparison for glucose response, blood cyclic almost 50%. Insulin sensitivity, blood sugar regulation, lowers blood pressure, lowers triglycerides. Anyway,
and berberine actually can be swapped out for metformin. In most studies, if they're not complementary, that you could use them together. One is you can use berberine to lower your metformin dose. They could be used in lieu of. So if metformin doesn't work for you, you can ask your doctor about using a berberine containing supplement like Alchemy, which also has NC2, which I believe is probably at level with or even better than berberine when used in conjunction. I have no doubt this is as good or better than metformin.
I completely agree.
But of course, talk to your doctor. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm not making direct drug claims with Alchemy. This is personal opinion, and I'm an idiot.
But Alchemy does alchemy does contain berberine, and berberine has been shown in clinical studies to be even more effective for women with PCOS at controlling their symptoms, because it is just as effective as berberine in the action of what it takes, but it has minimal to no side effects. Anyway, her glucose level was greater after taking Ozempic in the first week, noting, however, that she did endure an emotionally taxing side effect. I would say it's emotionally taxing.
Oh, yeah. Your vagina being burned off.
Your vagina being burned off could cause some emotions. I can imagine that. I suffered mild depression when I started Ozempic, though it disappeared after 1 week. That's actually on the Wegovy site to watch out for anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation. But they don't. If your doctor didn't tell you that and you're on that medication, you should call a lawyer. But immediately after, I noticed a severe burning in my back, shoulders, and arms. I was in excruciating pain. I had COVID before that, so I thought it was post-COVID neuropathy pain.
That's a thing?
No. However,
it is now. Like, basically, if you have anything wrong with you and you've ever had COVID, it's definitely COVID. Which, of course, if the CDC and WHO says is right, it's absolutely right.
It's 100% right if they say it right.
Because they never lie.
Ever.
I trust them with my life and my kids' lives. And that's why, even though I did not get the vaccine, I recommend everybody gets it, including in pregnant women and 6-month-old and younger children.
Yes, because they've tested this new one on 10 mice. How safe
10 mice. If 10 mice doesn't give you peace of mind, then I don't know what to tell you. Then you must be a right-wing Nazi.
Yeah, you are definitely a right-wing extremist. If you don't think 10 mice are good enough to risk your baby's health on, you might as well just say you work for Putin.
Can I say exactly why you need to listen to CDC? Because the director is Jewish and they were God's people, and God doesn't lie. Thank you.
Yeah. There you go.
Don't question me, or you're anti-science. You need to follow it.
That's almost like Illuminati connecting, like therefore Illuminati.
Dude, it's infallible. It's an infallible argument. You can't argue it. It's a mic drop moment. It's hater proof.
And like you would know, like I always say this, like I get to be Illuminati adjacent because apparently you guys like you Sean and Mark and Mike are in the Illuminati.
We're in a very diverse, multicultural Illuminati. We accept Jews, blacks, Iranians. We don't care.
Yeah. I'm like the cracker. I'm the only white guy. So anyway, the burning back pain, the burning pain in my back never disappeared. But in August, a worse pain in my genital area, buttocks, appeared. If I'm taking a medication, I have burning back pain consistently. I'm gonna she's a fucking professor of pharmacology. What the fuck world do we live in?
She's like, this ain't bad. Let me wait till it makes its way down to my vagina and butthole.
What dimension do we live in anymore?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
After discovering her singed and sore undercarriage, this writer is amazing.
I love Asia.
The alarmed granny immediately notified her healthcare provider. That would be good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, the pain was so intense. I called my doctor. He immediately told me to discontinue Ozempic. You think? And he told me, where was she injecting this shit? And he told me
her labia.
he told her it may have caused the issue, as one of the less talked about side effects is rashes, itches, and hives. But that's not charring. I mean, like she's talking about like burnt off. Like that's ridiculous. I panicked, which someone should. It is a very reasonable response to having your vagina burned off is panic.
God.
There's no way this is being monetized at all whatsoever.
No, I don't know, man. We're using scientific words, and we are absolutely. Well, yeah, I already got limited. But every time I appeal it, every time I've been 100% on reviews. It just takes them 7 days, which is when the views stop coming. So I make no money anyway.
Right.
Which is why you need to go to Tiger Fitness to support us and buy Ambrosia products, because we're definitely not making any YouTube money on this video. But even though this is we haven't even used bad words.
No, we do this to inform and entertain. We're not making a dime off these videos. I can guarantee it. In August, a 35-year-old Canadian named Amelia, a financial analyst and mother of one with type 2 diabetes, revealed to the Post that she suddenly became suicidal from the weekly doses. That actually is a pretty known side effect. A number of dieters who've pumped their veins full of the drug,
God, Asia, I'm hiring her.
Seriously, what a great copywriter! Like, in hopes of achieving a svelte shit. She used the word svelte. You got to fucking bring her in.
I don't care how much it costs. She
needs to be writing for Ambrosia and Tiger Fitness right motherfucking now.
Dude, we'd be bigger than Ghost in like a week.
No shit. But anyway, the hopes of achieving svelte physiques, having been diagnosed with severe gastroparesis. That's fucked. Now that's the one where I'm just like, the suicidal ideations and shit like that. To me, that is a mistake of prescribing, because it says right on the Wegovy site, if a person has had depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation, not to prescribe it to them. And I don't think doctors are worried about that at all, because most people that are morbidly obese and be taking this medication have had some sort of anxiety, depression, and often suicidal ideations, right? But the gastroparesis thing, that's torture. Like
that is horrible.
Yeah, it's torture. Like, I mean, and it's the rest of your life. Like, it's
your stomach just stops moving. It stops digesting. Like, imagine, you ever eat so much, like on Thanksgiving, where you feel like you're just done. You're just done. You have to sit down. That's not even close to how bad gastroparesis is. Gastroparesis is literally the shutting down of your digestive system. You can't shit. You have to literally force your body to. You have to overdose. One of the treatments is overdosing milk of magnesia, so it just kind of seeps out your butt.
Yep.
Horrible.
And then oftentimes they need to go on to like they have to be IV fed the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Because they can't, like, your digestional tract stops. Where that's torture. That really is. Rosa decided to take matters into her own hands.
About time.
About time. It only took your vagina burning off. She filed a complaint with Ozempic via the company's 1-800 number. And did I just have a little stroke? The 1-800 number. I don't know why.
Little McConnell action going on here.
Yeah, it's fuck. And reported the medical mishap to the Food and Drug Administration. The victim too embarked on an investigation into downsides of the jab. I researched on the internet and found that Ozempic can cause hives, rashes, and other adverse effects. Like, but she is a professor of pharmacology. How did she not know what the fuck she was putting in herself before she put it in herself? Like,
yeah,
that's why we live in a fucking movie. I swear. Like, I mean,
oh my goodness.
It still hurts when she urinates or defecates. Well, you have a burnt off vagina. I can imagine.
She looks eccentric. I think she'd be a fun person to talk to.
Yeah.
She looks like a nice lady. I mean, we're kind of making fun of her a little bit, but I mean, she looks like a poor, nice lady who has type 2 diabetes, who is just going around and she's doing the professor thing. Like, she's probably a fun professor. She like anybody who wears those glasses. That's a fun lady. And it's just a shame because a lot of people are getting hurt by this drug. And yet all you hear is it's like, dude, it's everybody's taking it. I know that our local HRT clinics here are crushing it with Ozempic and semaglutide. I mean, I think that's how you say it. Semaglutide. So the problem is the prevalence of side effects are super high. And then I don't really agree with them, but you have like Lane Norton is coming out in favor of them. And I don't think he's really read the side effect profile enough. And for someone who promotes, if it's your macros, I understand he's going by the data, but like we're getting real world data, like kind of like we did with the other pricks we had before. The real world data causes me to pause and say, I don't think we're ready for this. I don't think these are ready for consumption. And I think that their mechanism of action is scary as well, because that's what is leading to the gastroparesis.
Yeah. I saw the videos, the video that Lane did about it. First of all, I mean, just to put it out there, everybody knows I'm not a fan of him. Out of anybody, like, I think he's a horrible human being. But beyond that, I found it to be rather intellectually disingenuous, because when he was comparing weight losses between berberine and Ozempic, first of all, like he was like, is berberine nature's Ozempic? It's really nature's metformin. I mean, it really is. I mean, just to put it out there, it really, really is. But he also compared like the weight loss from the Wegovy study, which was 72 weeks, and the weight loss from berberine studies, which are 12 weeks. So that in itself is pretty fucking intellectually disingenuous. But then he compared it to like Ozempic's like a howitzer, and this is like a BB gun or something like that, right? But my thing about it is, it's not really a howitzer. It's like mustard gas, okay?
Yeah.
Because it might be very effective, but there's a strong chance the wind's going to blow the wrong way, and it's going to fuck you up too. You know, like
it just seems pretty prevalent that people are having these huge issues, and it's really like you look at this last paragraph I have here. It was very good on my glucose levels. Just going by the data I've read, I think that's simply because she wasn't gluttoning herself as much.
No,
I think that's more of a you're eating less situation, because insulin is very it's very dependent on the amount of food. So people, the keto people are like, oh, well, this doesn't raise your blood sugar. No, protein will spike your insulin.
Yeah, well,
whey protein spikes the shit out of your insulin. Granted, it's a transient increase. Whereas, let me explain for those of you who don't know this, like when you have a carbohydrate, your insulin spike is biphasic, which means there's two of them. When you eat protein, when you have an insulin spike from amino acids, it's actually going to be just a singular insulin spike. Boom, boom, versus boom, 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 boom. So there's the main difference in insulin response. But I don't care if you're eating keto. If you eat enough protein and fat, if you eat enough caloric load, you're damn right your insulin is going to spike. I mean, it is what it is. So the reason people are seeing blood glucose control is they're not eating as much shit. They're not eating as much in general. And that is that's the issue. And just while we're at it, so Alchemy has dihydroberberine. Is that the same? It's actually more potent. So we're able to use less of it. So it's a more potent, more bioavailable form of berberine. So you can take literally a fraction of the dose and get the same or better results.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the people reaching back out to me about Alchemy. The results are silly. Like most, it's the complement of the three together, Ember, No Morbidity, and Alchemy is just it. I don't think it will cure your food addiction, but it will make it so you're not hungry and have plenty of energy and good stress relief, and you're not craving because you're just craving sugar,
Yeah, and just so you guys know, yesterday I was in New Jersey meeting with the fine folks on the top of the food chain at Vitamin Shop, and Alchemy will be in Vitamin Shop probably Q1 of 2024. We're just working that out. So also another big breakthrough is the Planta bar. Yes, you knew I was going to do it. Anybody who thought for a second the bar guy isn't going to make a Planta bar, you're out of your mind. So yes, we do have 2 flavors coming, and they will be in the Vitamin Shop as well as all the other retailers we're in now. But we're pretty excited about growing our partnership with the Vitamin Shop. That was a great trip, great people, great time. I've been doing business with Vitamin Shop since 2006, and thankfully our meeting got done early. I got on a flight 4 hours before I was supposed to depart, so I was able to have a great night and get a good night's sleep last night.
That's awesome.
That's big news. Also, like if you're supporting Alan, we want you to buy all Ambrosia, everything. If you support us, Tiger Fitness, AmbrosiaCollective.com, both are great.
Yep.
But the 3 products the 2 products that are Allen's are No Morbidity and Alchemy. So be sure to support Alan. Be sure to look at those products. Alan put a lot of work into those products, and he and I got together and came out with those specifically because Alan he doesn't have to, it's what he does, but Alan deals with people who are struggling with weight loss every minute of every day. So this product was not meant to be marketed. This product was literally No Morbidity, I'm talking about, was literally meant to help Alan. And it was supposed to not even be under Ambrosia. It was supposed to be a small little brand for his clients.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, dude, Alan, this formula is hater proof. This is the best formula I've ever seen. And it took a lot of work, a lot of research. And we worked on this together. And so that's when we went to, Sean and our team at Ambrosia. We're like, dude, like this is an Ambrosia product. They're like, hell yeah, let's go. So that's where it's at. No Morbidity is also available. Vitamin Shop, Tiger Fitness, Ambrosia Collective. So it was formed for this reason. And we formulated it before the Ozempic and semaglutide. And as you look at the data, our side effect profile is as close to 0 as you can get.
Yep.
And you look at the side effects of semaglutide and Ozempic. Look, all I ask people is that try all natural, safe routes first, because I'm not saying Ozempic and semaglutide don't cause weight loss. They do. I think the risk is greater than the reward.
I agree.
That's where I'm at. But if you try no morbidity and you try alchemy, and you're like, and Ember, you try the Holy Trinity stack, and you're like, you know what? It just didn't do it for me. But if you read these comments, if you listen to the people who actually follow us and who as they say in the hood, fucks with us, you will see that the testimonials are insane. Yep. They are insane. So what I ask you, it's also going to save you. It's $1,200. What is it? $1,200 a month for semaglutide?
Yes. For
all three of these products, you're at like $100 a month. I mean, it's not that. It's way less of an investment, way less of a risk profile. And again, we came out with this to help Alan's clients. That was the main thing. We wanted to create something so Alan could do his job better and he could help people not die.
I mean, it has been massively successful. We have a couple people that are approaching the 200 pounds down on starting with no morbidity and just and then adding alchemy to it. It's amazing. By the way, back to the when I was in LA, I got to taste test one of the Planta bars, and let me tell you something. Here's the fucked up thing. I will often have Planta protein and add milk to it. Like, I don't even care that it's not vegan because I'm not a vegan, right? Even if you're not vegan, the protein powder and the bar is ridiculous. The bar is one of the better bars I've ever had, vegan or not. It's so fucking delicious.
You had the caramel, right? The chocolate caramel candy bar?
Yes.
That one's so insane. What was crazy, so Alan?
I'm not gonna be able to eat that until like in the evening. That's like my evening sweet treat. That it's so good. It's
a true story in that my wife never liked the plant-based outright bars. She just likes the texture of the non, and we only have like one variety left. But here's the deal: the caramel bars, we had like 12 of them, and I was saving one for you, and I was saving a couple. I went to go send you one, and she ate all of them. I mean, and she's not one of those like she's like, you need her. When can these be out? I need to come out with them just so she shuts up about it. I mean, if there's so, and you, dude, speaking of you, I'm like, I remember Sean's like, I didn't even know you tried the bar. I'm like, hey, are you going to try your bar? You're like, dude, I ate it like an hour ago. I'm like, dude, it was so good, wasn't it?
So delicious.
Insane. Yeah. I think
I can't wait for them to be out. Yeah, can't wait for them to be out.
So I think, I think we've pretty much beat the dead horse on this article and on Ozempic and semaglutide. And I think this time I'm actually feeling less ADHD. I took 2 servings of mental jewels today and kinetic. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pull up something else. I want to talk about influencers, fitness influencers on the internet, right? Especially Twitter, because they get clicks and they produce debate, but they're absolutely stupid. And I think we've gone over this quite a few times, but here's one and I also want to talk about training your inner and outer thighs for knee stability. So let me get with this one, get this on the screen. Okay. You see that? Yeah, it should be perfect. So this guy, Reese Bra, if you are a man on this machine, don't be surprised when I walk up and literally dick slap you. Okay. This is a machine designed to make your pussy tighter. Why are you using it? To tone up your anus so it feels better for your boyfriend? Put a fucking barbell on your back and squat. Now, I would like to say I'm an IFBB pro with really fucking big legs. I use this machine 2 times a week.
Really fucking big legs.
It's a great addition to Copenhagen planks, which if you know what those are, it's basically you're on a bench supporting yourself with your inner thigh. I do those for explosive reps. I push it so hard, I come off the bench, I catch myself. And then clamshells, which is basically you're pulling your legs apart, laying in a fetal position with mini bands around. That's to strengthen not only adductors and abductors, but your knees. But you're right, my vagina is super tight. Alan can basically vouch for that. It's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. It's amazing.
So I want to show you what this guy looks like. So this guy right here with his cute little arms and a fucking cigarette in his mouth.
Oh my God.
This guy is giving fucking fitness advice. Like he's giving fitness advice. And I thought it was exceptionally cute. And the good news is like he's getting shat on, which I believe we need more people getting shit on. Yeah. And
did he flex did he flex? He was like, this is me.
Look at this guy. Look at this little body. Dude, my fucking 15-year-old has more muscle than him. Well, that's not fair. My kids are jacked, but I mean, that's not fair. My 10-year-old just fucking deadlifted 280 yesterday during a football season.
Like people that don't understand the importance of working your adductors and abductors don't squat big.
No, and you're gonna, like, you were a power lifter, a very strong individual. Yeah. You can attest, like, if you don't have strong inner and outer thighs, your squat's gonna shit. Your knees are gonna cave in, severe valgus. It's just not gonna work. Yeah.
I mean, it was one of the reasons why my squat went from like into the mid 400s into the high 500s.
Fuck.
Because I literally started paying attention to just like the weak spots. Well, my thighs were strong and my ass was strong. My posterior chain was doing pretty good. I needed to work on my hamstrings, but also like my right knee is super fucked, right? It has been most of my life. So if I don't like have strong adductor, like I need to make sure my knee's not going to slide, right? So I absolutely had to start like working a ton of, especially adductors, like keeping it in because my knee would flex out. So I use that machine all the fucking time, like all the time. And it's just like first of all, you don't even understand what the fuck it does, man. Like, I mean, it does like that's not the same muscles. Like, even if a girl uses that, it's not tightening her pussy. Those are Kegel exercises, you stupid fuck. Like, I mean, it's so amazing to me. Like, these guys, like, so many people will give like advice on shit that they have no fucking idea about in our society, and then all of a sudden, like, they say it so assured of themselves that people are like, oh, it must be true. That's some stupid shit. You know, like that's crazy.
Yeah. Going to this alabastard. They take up a lot of space, but what I do for my clients or even the athletes who train at Legacy, a lot of clamshells, all you need is a mini band. They cost like $1 and Copenhagen planks. And if you guys want me to do a Copenhagen plank demonstration, actually Enzima from Mark Bell's been doing a lot of them, and he does them like I do, is that you get so strong because usually I'll have athletes hold it for 20 seconds, but as you get better, you could literally push off and land. And that really works that your body's ability to adapt to strenuous and you know, sport is not predictable. Sport is unpredictable. It's ballistic. And when you look at your inner thighs and outer thighs, that's what's going to keep your knee in check, so to speak. That's why we do a lot of mini bands, a lot of lateral and linear mini bands, a lot of clamshells, a lot of Copenhagens, because we want to prevent valgus, because that's essentially how ACLs tear, whether it's incidental valgus from, let's say, stepping off a curb, or valgus from making a cut on the field, or valgus from even with force. Like if you have if you do injury prevention right, you might even be able to prevent a lot of contact ACL injuries where you just get hit, where a football player or a soccer player runs into you sideways, where you're able to, those muscles recruit, automatically stabilizes, and the impact is way less, where you end up with an LCL tear, which is non-surgical usually, versus an ACL tear. And those are things that we don't talk about. So the problem with the internet, and we get a lot of this, stay in your lane. We don't like that word. I like when people like, what was this guy? What was this fuck's name? I like when people like, where is he? Add to stage. Come on. There you go. I got to go to the page. His name is Reese, bruh. I read Rebecca, bruh. So Reese, I love the fact that he's able to say that. I'm not saying that we censor idiots, because a lot of people think we're idiots when it comes to like, because Reese can literally have a tip that'll be like, man, you know what? I used to say, bring up what Alabaster said. You know, it's like, I do these monkey feet and I like them. And it could be like game changing for a lot of people. Or it could be like, hey, you know, avoid shrimp if you're allergic to it, or just something ridiculous, right? Like we give a lot of advice that's not our lane, right? Like we talk about politics, and I get that a lot on this YouTube channel, right? Or on any channel. It's like, stay in your lane. Well, what is my lane? And the video I did with my wife on Sunday is because I was standing here getting angry, and it was like, people say stay in your lane, but I vote. Everybody who votes in this country should be so educated and passionate about their stance that they should want to talk about it and discuss and learn and debate. And that's how we become better people. And that's why debate class, they even have debate class in high school anymore. Do people get triggered?
I think people get triggered. I don't think you can have it. Like the stay in your lane thing about politics. Like, here's my thing. I mostly still talk about like health. Like I only got pulled into politics because of the public health thing. But when people were like, stay in your lane about COVID and shit like that, like public health is my fucking lane, motherfuckers. Like I'm so like this is my whole highway, bitches. I talk a lot about how like us being unhealthy as people affects us politically and affects the economy. I literally just was talking yesterday how, $1.9 trillion in tax money a year is used to pay for healthcare. Like if we were serious about reducing our deficit from the $2.2 trillion a year it's going to be, we would encourage people to get healthy, because not only is it better for the people, it's better for our economy, it's better for our taxes, it's better for the healthcare system. Like it's one of those things, and no politician is talking about it. So since no politician is talking about it, and they would rather, impose on my freedoms, should we have something come up that's hard for people who don't take care of themselves? Like how much are we to bend for this? Like how for people that refuse to take care of themselves physically, how much are we as a society supposed to give up when it is like if you refuse to take care of yourself, why should society accommodate you when you're a burden upon it? And I just find that crazy. Like, I mean, it's they just fired the Speaker of the House. We should fire all of them, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So whatever happened to that thing we heard during 2020 and 2021, the greater good?
Yeah.
When does what is the greater good? What is the greater good? Like if the greater good really exists, then we should be telling people to stop being fat.
Yep.
I mean, that is the number one plague on society right now, above crime, like above murder. Like murder kills a few people, thousands of people, right? Dude, obesity kills hundreds of thousands of people, exhausts our resources, more than prison, more than murder. Like it is so bad. So bad. And it's just like, oh, now fat acceptance. That's like murder acceptance. That's why I guess they are doing that. They're doing criminal acceptance. Speaking of, did you see that that thing of that leftist getting stabbed in New York City?
Jeez. Did you see his girlfriend afterwards?
She was like calm and stoic. It was weird. Like it's almost, and then she refused to describe the stabbing guy.
She refused to give a description to the police about the dude who stabbed her boyfriend to death in front of her because she didn't want to be racist. What the fuck? I can't even get over that shit. Like, yeah. So this dude killed. Like, I was like, it's fucked up how it happened. If for those of you that don't know what happened, this dude who is an extreme advocate for defunding the police and no bails and letting criminals out and stuff like that, huge advocate for it, got stabbed to death. And first of all, what the fuck are you doing at 4 a.m. on the streets, dude? Like
in New York City.
New York City.
Because if they weren't, that would make them racist, right? Like,
yeah. That's
the thing. It's like they are so afraid to be labeled a racist. So here's Mike Cernovich has been kind of going off on this. I don't know if you've seen his stuff, but he's kind of getting flat because he's like, I don't feel bad for this guy. He literally voted for what happened to him. Yeah. And he wasn't just voting, he was advocating for it. And I don't know. See, I'm one of those where also you have Adam Coleman's a friend of mine, you know, Adam, and he's a great guy, but he's like, we shouldn't be celebrating anyone's death. So I look at this kind of like the abortion argument that Tim Pool has, where he's like, hey, think about it. Why are we even fighting this? Like all the people getting abortions and castrating their children are leftist. So that, because no conservative is like, I'm going to go abort my child. So it's like literally in 20 years, there won't be any new liberals. We will be a 80% conservative country. You know, they can only garner control of the school system that so long. So that's a very horrible way to look at things, but they're literally killing off their own race, so to speak, or their own cult. So look at it this way. Like what Mike Cernovich is saying is that he literally, not only did he vote for it, his girlfriend in his passing is literally shitting on him by saying, oh man, this criminal is more important than my dead boyfriend. Now, if that can't, again, like it's talk about for the greater good. Like this woman thinks that for the greater good, we need to let good people and this guy's, even though he sees different than us, and he's not committing crimes. He has a job. He's just crazy in that he thinks that we should let criminals go and that all white people are assholes. Basically, he's a self-hating white person, which is weird. So, but he doesn't seem like we don't need innocent people getting killed. But at what point? Because remember, Alan, when we were saying we're not getting the prick, I love that. Thank you, Asia. When we're not getting the prick that they want us to die, why am I having to be at a higher moral level where I can't say, fuck it, I hope you die too? Like, why can't, I'm not saying that's my thought. I'm just saying that how come they can say that, I can't say it? Why do I have to be more of an adult than them?
So I don't know, because I remember a couple years ago when they were like literally wishing death upon us. And now it's like, well, everybody be understanding if somebody chooses to wear a mask. No, I'm going to point at you and laugh.
I've been doing that a lot lately.
Yeah, I'm going
I do it at airports.
Laugh,
I do it at airports. I don't laugh at old people, but I do laugh at like men. Yeah. Men who are like walking around and there's literally women and children without masks. Yeah. And you're wearing an N95, dude, you're scared of air. Like you are a pussy. I'm sorry. You're just although I believe that masks do work per the CDC and WHO's guidelines when they say it works.
Yes, absolutely.
When they don't say it works, I agree with them as well because they never lie.
Ever.
That's been CDC working, dude. I've refuted every single demonetization and I've gotten it overturned.
So have mine. It's been kind of amazing.
I love the CDC.
Yeah, I love the CDC. It's the best pharmaceutical branch there is.
I love them. I mean, that new Cohen chick, love her. I have a crush. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and my mom would approve because she's Jewish. Yeah. So I mean, two birds, one stone. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
Except for the wife and kids. So, but
yeah, I think my mom would be okay with that at this point if she's Jewish. I don't know. You've never met a Jewish moms don't give a fuck. They don't like shiksas or goys. Speaking of goy, did I tell you about that when we were in Cali? Like goy it's like, okay, you know how the N-word is for a certain race? Yeah. And like so goy is a Jewish slur for everyone else. So it's like the N-word, but for everybody. People don't understand, like goy is the most insulting thing you could call somebody.
I did not know that. I wasn't aware.
It is good. So if you ever get pissed, just call them a goy. They won't know what it is. And it is the best. Like my brother and I have been walking around calling people goys. So a goy is basically just horrible.
Look up the word facetious.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you? Oh yeah. I disagree with this guy right here. I have to point you out. No, not that guy. I totally agree with this guy.
I agree with that guy.
It moved up right when I clicked. The CDC. Yeah. No, I disagree. The CDC is amazing. They are right. They are for our best interest. And I recommend everybody should donate to the CDC today.
Rachel Walensky, there should be monuments built to her for what she did during COVID.
I pray in her direction every day. I find out where she's at in the country, in the
world.
You
actually angle yourself?
I get my compass out. They have it on your iPhone. It's an app. And I find it and I do the whole Islam thing.
Okay.
I put on the robe and everything. I put the little mat down. It's pretty fucking awesome.
That's pretty good. I'm going to have to can confirm we in Poland know that the word goy, since many Jews live in. I mean, I wasn't aware, but now I know. Now if I'm ever called a goy, oh no, it's the worst thing I can be called.
So I have a question for you. Going political, like, what do you think about this McCarthy thing?
Man, here's my thing. I'm disappointed that the rest of the Republicans didn't fucking support him being boosted, because he made a deal to get to be speaker. He went back on that deal, and the deal was very clearly for shit that America needs, right? So I'm not a fan of any politician at this point, but I can't say that at least somebody did something. You know what I mean? Like
Matt Gaetz is awesome. I love the guy.
Matt Gaetz might run for governor of Florida. this next time around.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, DeSantis has done so much harm to his brand with his presidential run. He should have never. Look, man, I mean, there was enough opposition, and you're not going to win against Trump because let's say 50% of Republicans are MAGA. Dude, they are like, I'm one of those where it's like, if he's the guy,
they're rabidly MAGA.
Rabid. Like, I can't even say I'm going to vote. So Alan and I will post, look, we don't really like what he did, but like, if it comes down to it, we'll vote for him. That's not enough. Yeah. That's not enough. We need to pray on the altar of Donald. Like, he's literally an idol for them, like an idol, like not like idol, like American Idol. I'm talking like adultery, like for not adultery, idolatry, where he's like the guy. He's the guy that Moses. He's like the 10 Commandments. Like, don't pray to idols. That's Donald Trump for these guys right now.
Yeah, it's a little wokey. It reminds me of the woke cult quite a bit. It's just me and you have talked about that before. Like, the pendulum the extremes have just gotten so high, and that it's just the two extremes. But as for Boot McCarthy, I thought it was right. Like,
yeah,
the biggest thing in our politics is single topic bills that have to be read before they're voted on. I mean, my goodness, like, but royalty doesn't fucking understand shit, does he? Like, but
where's he at? You guys, but if I don't agree, I just say it. What didn't you agree on? I mean, we're just telling you the CDC is amazing. And that is not something that's up for discussion. Everybody else in here understands that the CDC is literally God.
Yeah, like, they're God. They're amazing.
It's Jesus at the table. We're not Judah. You're Judah.
And again, royalty. Look up the word facetious. Look it up.
And we really like having our channels.
Yeah, I like having my channel, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, we've already been shadow banned, bro. It's not a good place to be.
There's not many places to go from shadow ban, buddy. So like, there's not many places to go.
Other than they could crowder your ass and just get rid of you.
Yeah.
Then we're stuck on Rumble, and I still can't understand that. I still can't figure that fucking place out.
But back to McCarthy, our elected officials should not be. They should not be voting on shit they haven't read.
Yes.
Like how hard is this to understand? Like, that is not them doing their job. That is not them being a good steward of the authority that we have vested in them by electing them. That is not being a good representative. And I think that when he didn't do that, and then it was the biggest thing is no more funding for Ukraine, and I am 100% for that. I don't think we should have sent them $1 to begin with, and everybody's like, oh my God, you want Putin to take over Ukraine. I actually don't give a fuck what happens to Ukraine.
I don't. I mean,
really
people are like, oh, so they invaded. Okay. Yeah, that sucks. It really does. But I mean, if we're sitting here in America and we have our shit figured out, it's like, I'm not going to give marital advice if I just got a divorce, other than like, hey, don't do what we just did. So the problem is our country is so hurt right now. We are hurting so bad. Our dollar is worth nothing. People are literally not able to make it paycheck to paycheck. Debt is at an all-time high. We have crime rate in certain places are going up. We have literally like the Republicans, you're letting J6ers get 10 plus years in jail, while rapists and murderers are getting let off in without any penalty. You have people able to steal up to $900 in California and just released without anything happening to them. And we're worried about a country that nobody even now knows where the fuck it's at on a map.
Yeah.
And look, at the end of the day, I don't know enough about the situation to say if Putin was right or wrong. I've heard both sides, and they both make sense. The Ukrainian side makes sense. I agree. It's fucked up. The Russian side with NATO just encroaching on their borders makes sense. And the fact they need the Dundas to be able to have a trading lane makes geopolitical sense. However, I don't side with either Russia or Ukraine. In fact, I side with Ukraine more than Russia, but I also realize that it's not my fucking problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to affect what happens in the US. What's going to affect us is when Russia and China and other countries bind together and they reject the petrodollar.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things bad that happens when we force people into a corner. So I really, really, really think that it does. Like, my opinion is, I agree with people who say, dude, like, what they did to Ukraine sucks. I'm like, absolutely. Absolutely. But have you seen, like, we claim we're saving democracy. The Ukraine literally canceled elections. They imprisoned the guy from the opposing political party who was running against Zelensky. They're sending women to war now. So, and I think we're all tired of being lied to. They're not winning. They're not winning. Why would they bring women into it when they're not winning? And what have we lost? Was it 50 or 500,000 people? Like, a tremendous amount of Ukrainians. Maybe I just don't like seeing Ukrainians and Russians dying.
Yeah, maybe we don't want people to die, you know?
And so it's like, why not have a treaty? There has to be a treaty. And there was a treaty that the US and the UK said, no, this won't work.
Which, my thing is multiple things. Like, we are so fucked up. We should be worried about America first before anything, period. But beyond that, why don't they borrow money to pay us for the weapons we give them instead of us borrow money to give to them? Like, what
are we, 30 trillion in debt?
Like, we're $33 trillion in debt. Why are we borrowing money to send away when we have people in our country that are suffering? I just don't, like, I'm sorry, but, like, we should fire every fucking person that says yes to send money any fucking where besides the United States. Fire. I don't care if it's a Republican or a Democrat. If they voted yes for it, fire their ass. They are not being fiduciarily responsible for our money. They are not. You know. Yet alone the fact that, I mean, I can't prove it, but it does sound like a huge money laundering scheme.
Well, I mean, did you see Feinstein retired with $100 million plus $100 million plus? She died. Sorry, she died. She retired. It took Skeletor dying. So I have two words for you real quick, Alan, and it's not suck it. It's the Nord Stream pipeline. And that's how I'm going to answer Pyrella. Did Ukraine bomb their own people before the war? Who's giving us that information? The same people said that the Russians blew up their own pipeline to hurt Ukraine. Literally a money-making fucking cash cow to take natural oil over to Germany, and we blow it up. We literally blow it up, and then we say Russia did it, which makes no fucking sense whatsoever. And then Biden also has film like, we're gonna blow that shit up. Biden literally said, like, man, if they don't get out of Ukraine, we're gonna blow that shit up. And then they're like, nah, we didn't do it. So the problem isn't what to believe. The problem is they lie so much. Even when they're telling the truth, we don't believe them because they've gaslit us this whole time. And I'm sitting here and look, man, I'm not even gonna talk about my taxes, like how I get taxed. Like, I'm taxed upon taxed upon taxed upon taxed. We're taxed when we make it. We're taxed when they take it. We're taxed when we die. We're taxed when we take from that death fund. We're taxed at over 50% if you're making over 100 grand a year. Yeah. It is what it is. It's horrible. And my tax dollars should be, look, man, let's go socialism, Alan. Okay, I'm down. I'm Bernie Sanders. I'm literally Bernie Sanders before he sold out and became a war pig, right? Yeah. So, okay, tax me 50%. Done. Give that shit to people in America who need it. Yeah. And now they're saying, oh, well, they're just sending the Ukraine old weapons we can't use anyway. And then the Pentagon comes out and says, hey, we're out of weapons. Yeah. Well, so I mean, that's another thing too, cash? Though. Are we sending cash or are we sending weapons? Why can't we audit this shit? Like that's another thing too. McCarthy was supposed to be able to put forth a bill that we were going to be able to like see where our money was going to, and they quashed that shit. Like, why can't we audit this shit of where it's going? Like, it's amazing how the federal government want to know every dollar that we spend, but not the money we give away to Ukraine. It's crazy. Absolutely fucking insane. Why does Congress vote against audits? Like, why? Like, McCarthy, speaking of McCarthy, that should be the first thing the new guy does. Hey, we're going to vote right now to audit this. I'm not saying stop giving him money. Let's know where it's going. Yeah. And also, like, somebody said the other day, well, it's old munitions. Wait, hold on. If it shoots, like, why would we get rid of those? Like, do they work? They obviously work. Like, why do we need it's like you have a pair of Jordan retros and you need the new Space Jam 11s and you go, these retros won't fit on my feet anymore. Right. You still got retros, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just looking at this like, holy shit. Like, we are sending them money because we're literally, I believe we're covering, like we're paying their healthcare or something. I forgot what it was, but we are sending them cash.
Yeah. Well, we're sending them cash. They're buying seed with it, all sorts of stuff. Like, what I don't understand is why they're like, we're treating them better than we're treating our people. You know, I really don't understand that. Like, people, like, you're talking about the audits real quick. My ADHD just caught this. The Department of Defense lost $2 trillion. Like, they announced they couldn't find $2 trillion the day before 9/11, just in case.
Wow.
I mean, everybody that you can look that up. And 9/11 happened, so nobody brought it up again. But they lost $2 trillion fucking dollars. Like, we should audit every fucking thing, everything. Mark.
Well, let me give you an example. You have to make money, so you charge what the market will allow. Put it in perspective. If you were to buy, these are rounded numbers. So a mortgage on a new house in my neighborhood, again, it's fucking egregious. So don't use this, but let's say a mortgage in my neighborhood, 20% down would be about $14,000 a month. That means your rent's going to be $15,000 because I got to make money. I got to be able to pay for if HVAC goes down. So it's probably going to be $2,000 or more because you need to at least mark it up 10 to 20%. So if people are buying houses to rent them, and let's say they're paying $1,000 a month mortgage, they're going to want to charge at least $2,500 to $3,000. So the reason is that, well, it's a business. So it's not, again, let the private sector determine that. And that's why if it's too expensive, like we have houses that they're asking too much that are sitting, houses that are asking fair value are going. So it just depends. Like, it's not up to the renter to keep the price down. It's up to the renter to be able to rent it for a fee that they can get. And that's essentially, like, if you look at what it costs to actually manage a house when you own a house, and that's why a lot of people choose to rent, even if they can buy. Yeah. Like, for example, if my air conditioner goes out, it's $5,000.
Yep.
If something goes down, like if you're renting a house and it comes with a fridge, that fridge breaks, they're getting you a new fridge. So, I mean, you have to be able to cover those things. And renting is money. It's money. Yep. It's a business. So they have to be able to turn a profit on that business. So hopefully that was a joke one, but yeah, it's like any business. And again, I don't rent property. That's not what I do. I'm not good at it. I could have bought rental property. I won't. And I'm glad I didn't. Have you seen what's happening at Airbnb, Alan? Well,
they're going to tank the Airbnb is going to tank the housing market.
You saw what I saw, didn't you?
Yep.
So Airbnb is down, I believe, 60% because what happened is it's way more expensive than hotels. Every time I've gone to get an Airbnb and I've priced it out against Hilton or Marriott, it's about 30% higher. And the reason is the cleaning fee, the service fee, this fee. Last time we got something, it did not save us money. In fact, the last trade show we did, I just put everybody up at hotels, had people bunk, 2 beds, 2 people per room. And it saved me a good 20, 30%. Plus you get the rewards program from Hilton and stuff. You earn free rooms. I think you're seeing the end of Airbnb and VRBO just because like, even when I go to Gatlinburg next time, I'm going to use my points and stay at, now they've got a whole bunch of Hiltons up there. I'm going to stay at a Home 2 Suites. We get a kitchen, we get everything there. And when we went to, on our cruise, we stayed a night in Gainesville. Great name for a city, by the way. Yep. Stayed a night there, and we looked at Airbnbs, and instead we got an actual suite at a Hilton Homewood Suites that had 2 bedrooms and everything. That's awesome. And it was like $200 less.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And they clean it. Like the thing is, you stay at an Airbnb, they don't change your linens. They don't clean your stuff. You stay at it's going to crash our market because it was so lucrative for a while. Yep. I know so many people who can't afford their Airbnbs if they're not rented out 50% of the time. And they're going ass up. They're having to liquidate and they're losing money on what they paid for it.
Hey, dude, I do need to run. I got clients. So
awesome. Me too.
I've had an awesome time talking to you. Always amazing. All
right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to Alan if you don't. Subscribe to me if you don't, because we're on many different channels here. And we'll see you next time.